Hey everyone, I'm David from SellCord. I'm here today with these amazing gentlemen from JEM, and I'll throw it to them to introduce themselves.
My name is Miles Robinson. I lead sales for Walmart and Sam's Club for JEM.
My name is Matt Prude, and I'm the team lead in Bentonville and the VP of Ops.
Amazing. We love working with these guys, and we have some great questions for them today. Amazing. I want to just ask, what was your experience like on Walmart before you were working with us? What were some of the challenges you were facing with Walmart?
Absolutely. So we started the Bentonville team back in 2023, and what we noticed is that every time we met with Walmart, they talked about this omni strategy. One of the catalysts in that was bringing Miles on with his experiences over there at Walmart. And what we realized is that if we're going to be a supplier of the future or go forward, invest in supplier with Walmart, we need to get our .com in a spot that's top class. The hard thing about .com is you don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot of things that have to be going right. And so while we were doing everything that we knew really well, we just didn't know about the other things.
I like that. Maybe SellCord could be like, we know what you don't know. Maybe that could be,
Absolutely.
I like that, yeah. We've seen this a lot. A lot of brands come to us because Walmart's definitely pushing for that. Their buyers are asking for their listing scores and kind of just like delays the conversation. I just want to get more products in store. They're like, wait, you got to fix up your omni-channel first. Right. So,
and it was interesting. We kind of view it as a room, and we cleaned the room up. We had new appliances. Our content scores are great. Our brand shops are looking awesome. We're using keywords. We're doing this, but we just never saw that growth, that big step that we knew was coming down, that we needed to really rely on to be that go forward for Walmart. So that's why, we engaged.
Sure. Yeah, that's typically where, it has to be driven, by certain thoughts. You have to have content working together with media. You could get those scores alone, like you're saying. That's exactly it. You could get those scores without actually growing. It's about, being very, impactful with your keywords, making sure that you're going after the right ones, and then obviously throwing some spend behind that efficiently, effectively, and you'll see the results as you guys do.
Yep.
All right, so what inspired you guys to work with SellCord, and since working with us, how do you feel the experience has been so far?
So going off what Matt said prior, I think inspiring us to work with y'all, we knew a certain amount about .com and about omni strategy, ad spend, and things like that. But what we're seeing when we talk with buyers is the expectations for the suppliers are continuing to increase. And so there were things we didn't know that we weren't aware of in the ad spend arena, and we never wanted to be in a position where I'm having a conversation with a buyer and I can't give them confidence that I'm the supplier of the future for them. And so, knowing about the good work y'all have done, I think it was just a really good opportunity for us to, let's peel back the onion a little bit. What else is there in this e-com space that we need to be aware of? And as far as results so far, I would say we're very happy with our partnership so far. The team, Krishna, Shubham, Maggie, that whole team has done a really good job being very honest and transparent about our goals, how we're, getting towards those goals. Are we hitting them? Are we behind? Where are we at? And so we always feel really good every time we engage with y'all on our weekly calls that even if the results are different than we expected, there's a reasoning why, and there's a plan now to kind of adapt and change the strategy.
And even to piggyback on that, we were spending money with Walmart Connect. We were asking them to help us with content and different pages and different things like that, but it never had really met our expectation at a high level. And so that's where we said, hey, let's kind of transition. Let's pivot a little bit in our strategy. And so it was really convenient that we connected during that time.
Amazing. Yeah. I really think, obviously the intentional piece over there for the Connect, where you're spending, it's really easy to, spend in certain directions and, you can still grow. But if you're really, again, I like the word intentional, like where you're going with that, content and media approach. And you mentioned like a key thing that we always strive for with clients is to make sure that we're not just hitting what we think are your goals. Like obviously we could work together with you to like help set your goals. You guys, I love when brands come to me and like, this is what we want to do. This is what we're trying to accomplish, because that then lets us just go ahead with it because you guys are trying to achieve something. All right, let's strive to hit that. Versus, if you have like someone who maybe doesn't necessarily know what they want, we could work with them. But when you have a goal, it's just like, okay, we need to hit this metric. Some brands, might be very focused on ROAS or tacos or some specific metric that really matters to them. Versus, if you're just trying to be like, we need to double our growth. We need to really dominate on .com, and doesn't matter, we'll do whatever it takes. And you have that ability to be like, all right, we'll formulate a plan for that. Because there's so many ways to accomplish success on Walmart, and you have to make sure that you're going about it the right way that's in line with, your brand goals.
Absolutely. And what was really nice about your team is that they helped us kind of make a budget. We knew in the ballpark where we wanted to be. Your team was able to help us break it down by week, by month. Hey, this costs that, and so we were able to take that back to our leadership, get approval, and everything like that. So it was all encompassing.
So since working with us, how has SellCord influenced your growth, and what are some of the results you've seen so far?
Where we were at, we were trying to hit a certain penetration to our in-store sales. And so based on that, we needed to double our sales immediately. We had specific goals from specific merchants for Marketplace and 1P as well. And so when we first had that introductory meeting, the big exclamation mark was double our sales versus last year.
Yeah, and I would say early indicators are really good. Since we've been working together, Marketplace, we're in 7 different departments at Walmart, and Marketplace across those departments is up on average around triple digits. And so we've seen a lot of success, and I would say too, more than that, it's our total digital sales. If you look at a year-over-year standpoint, as we shifted some of our business away from DSV and 1P into Marketplace, it's still up like 85-90% on average. So we feel really good about the trajectory we're on. Buyers that we're engaging with are also seeing the results, and they've commented on it as well, which I think just proves that, hey, we have something here. And so looking forward to the next year, we feel really good that when we give a forecast to a buyer on the Walmart side, or if we internally talk to our leadership on what's possible, that it's actually obtainable. It's not this pie in the sky number that we say to make ourselves feel good. It's a realistic, obtainable goal that we can work together to achieve.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. You guys are trying to double sales, and numbers are all showing that we're on track.
Yeah, we're on track for it, which is great.
One other thing, whenever we first met, I said, whoever we choose as our partner for Omni, I want them to have a heart of a teacher. I said that was really important to us, is not to only, y'all push the buttons and send the reports and it be done. I'm sure y'all have clients like that. But we're very hands-on and we're very intimate in the details. And so what's been really great is Maggie and the team have really taken that step and saying, hey, can you explain that metric again? Because a lot of this stuff is confusing, especially for someone where this is just one part of their business. They have a thriving in-store business. They have, a bunch of different things, and they're talking accounts payable and deductions and all this other stuff. But it's been really convenient that the team has the heart of a teacher in all that. And so it's like, hey, this is what this means. This is how it correlates. This is how this is being reflected. And so that's been really, really impressive, in my opinion.
That's great to hear. I definitely agree. Like, the education piece is so important for clients. When we're working with you guys, it's important that you guys understand, what are we doing? Just like exactly like you're saying, if we're just pushing buttons, you're like, okay, I see things are progressing, but like, why? It's important to know. And you might think that maybe we want to like hold it close to us and like keep the secret sauce, but no, it's about letting you know here's what's happening. And I think the way you guys view that is, you see that we understand what we're talking about. You have that faith and that trust in us. They're like, all right, not only are they bringing us the results, but here's the reasoning why, and we understand that they understand how the platform works, and they understand what's going to drive us to get that success, to double our sales, and continue from there, maybe double next year. We'll see what happens. Right. Exactly. That's such an important part, and we love doing that. We'd love to be there to support you through that growth on .com. It's a major unlock for so many suppliers that are looking to expand. You mentioned the DSV to 3P. That's such a major push from Walmart's side. Yep. And to hear of a supplier who's now seeing that success on 3P from having a strategic approach and seeing not just equal sales, but actually improve sales upon that is really great. And it really shows a lot of these other suppliers what opportunity Marketplace does have for them. It's not just about, I just want to go supplier. No, Marketplace is a great place to be. It's a great way to grow your business further. If you have DSV, maybe there's some advantages to that, but there's also way more levers that you have on the 3P side for you to be able to really push your brand and really grow at a much stronger pace.
Right, and I know changing strategies is really intimidating. So, when we made the shift from DSV to Marketplace, of course, there's this unknown. Walmart strategically is saying, hey, we think there's some upside here if you kind of transition your business model. We know that if Walmart spends a lot of time focusing on initiatives, it's probably because they're investing behind it and there's a reason why. And so the thing that I'm proud of with the JEM team is that our leadership, even down to people that just start, we're always wanting to do what Walmart's advocating as like the next thing to try. Like we change is a part of business. We're not going to stay in one lane. If this lane looks better, we're going to switch over lanes and kind of figure it out. So I think our success is a testimony to other brands out there that maybe were in a position that we were in a couple of years ago, and they're facing this decision. Walmart's focusing on Marketplace. It's everywhere. It's a thing now, and it's obvious. What's my opinion on that, right? And our opinion is we want to win regardless of the channel, and we're fortunate that we've seen success partnering with the SellCord team in that channel.
Fantastic. I mean, it's really like a lot of these brands kind of becoming dinosaurs and slowly just
Right.
if they don't shift and they don't adapt, they're getting bought out by now. New brands are coming in, the ones that do actually take that initiative. Some of maybe these younger companies that are just more hungry, understand the space a little bit better. And we've seen it firsthand. People who have lost in store because they haven't adapted, they haven't gone to the marketplace route or just gone to a stronger omni approach. So definitely super important for anyone in that space. You have to get with the times, and it's important. This is a cutting edge that we need to be on, especially with everything e-commerce. Everything's obviously digital has been massive. Everything is just continuing on that path. And Walmart's going there. Walmart's is there. Walmart's there right now, and if you're not there, you're just going to fall behind. So it doesn't matter how strong your success has been in store for a supplier 20 plus years, but it comes today, you got to make sure that you're with it. You got to make sure to adapt.
And every buyer's echoing that exact same sentiment. Like when we have line reviews, it's if we're not doing these things 2 years from now is going to look very different than our success today. And so just truer words have not been spoken. If you think what succeeded with Walmart last year is good enough for next year, you're gonna have a rude awakening.
All right, so what strategies has SellCord used to help you guys improve your content scores and your advertising? What has been the approach that you guys have seen success with?
Yeah, there's been a lot of things SellCord has done. The thing I appreciate about SellCord is they break it up into different baskets of where there is perceived opportunities. So content score is one of them, obviously optimizing that, making sure you have rich content, videos, have a brand shop that actually speaks to the brand, not just a landing place for customers to go to. That's one avenue. I think attribution and some of the back-end stuff is just as important. Like how is the algorithm routing search terms, and then what visibility can your items get by optimizing those back pathways? I think the front-facing things are obvious. You have a video, you're gonna get props for having a video. But is your item being routed to the correct landing page, to the correct category or department? Those things are less sexy to talk about, but are very, very efficient and kind of what they drive to the value of .com. And so those things, I think, kind of two different lanes. But also what I appreciate about SellCord and their approach is really everything's on the table. Something that's really top of mind for a lot of suppliers today is influencers and how to engage in like the social equity aspect of advertising. And so that's something that, we're having conversations with your team about what are some proactive ways that we can try to engage in that space. And even SEM, even offsite funneling traffic back to Walmart.com. And so what's good as we think about the future of our partnership, it's not like there's two boxes, you check them off and you're done. It's okay, we've gotten these into a good spot. Let's kind of move on to what's next. And with every level you move on, you learn a ton, you're growing the business. I mean, even the success we've seen with the DSS campaigns lately, I think has really highlighted that. Something that our team on our own probably wouldn't have gravitated towards because we would have viewed it as potentially too risky of an investment. But having the SellCord expertise kind of walking us through, it takes some time to grow. It takes some time for success to be seen. Trust us. We're the experts for a reason. Like, we need y'all to trust us. And we're like, okay, we'll trust you. First month, okay. Second month, wow. And then now we're seeing this, obviously, this great ROAS growth projection on our DSS campaign. So it's a multifaceted answer to your question. And I think too, if you ask me the same question a year from now, probably different things that I'll talk about. And so I think that's something that we really appreciate is ever changing. What's the latest and greatest tactic or strategy that we need to be implementing to win share of voice, market share, add visibility online? Let's go attack that. Take our learnings and then adjust.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you covered some big topics there.
Right.
You have like just the categorization piece. That's a really big one that, like you're saying, brands will want to just kind of skip over. Let's just get to the attributes. Let's just get our content score. But like, that's the core. If you don't have your category set up properly, like, you will not be able to succeed. That is what determines, that's what Walmart uses at the core. Is this listing relevant to this keyword? You need to have your category set up. So you might still have those strong scores, but if you don't have a category, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And then even y'all pushing us saying, hey, do you want to be important in the subcat, or do you want to push your brand? Or, in this space, as Miles said, we're in 7 different departments. We have a bunch of different brands. We also do private label. And it's like, hey, in this category, in this subcat, we're going to focus on just the item and these types of items. But over here, we really want a big brand presence because we're about to launch additional SKUs into that. And so that was really, I think, effective from your team to start off like that.
Especially when you're dealing with like a brand as a whole, like it's important to think beyond that specific, like maybe in this instance, this might be the best category, but if you look at the brand as a whole, like you're saying, there's a bigger approach, there's a broader approach. Maybe, like you're mentioning, you want to hit it with some DSS campaigns, or maybe even you want to go off site with it.
Yep.
There's so much to factor in. And when you have, this is, I think, one of the issues people have with multiple partners. Some guys doing content for them. We work with some brands that we split up what we do. We only do content or we only do ads. And it's like, you need that combined approach, because when you're looking at everything together, that's really where you're going to have the best success, is where everyone's working together with each other. It's not this guy's focusing on his success, this guy on theirs, and they don't really work it out. And I want to talk a little bit like what you're mentioning on the ad side of things, definitely like expanding and like really hitting on what we think will work just based on our experiences. Like you mentioned, let's say DSS might have taken a month just to get there. That's, very common for those campaign types, because the first 2 to 4 weeks are just discovery. After that, you get into some like the rule-based targeting and like different things like that.
Yep.
But furthermore, it's also about you guys coming to us with that goal and then that budget. And it's like, okay, how can we, exhaust this budget while getting the best growth from it? Just really breaking it down. All right, this channel for this channel for that. Oh, you guys, talking about offsite, let's go offsite. And I love what you're saying about like next year, and for this, it's like, it's going to be obviously the same conversation in terms of the increasing, expanding conversation. Just how do we do that? Exactly. It's like every year there's going to be something new. I don't even know what's going to exist next year, because we haven't yet seen what opportunities lie. I think we have some ideas and concepts that, with offsite, I think is going to be a really big piece of where we're headed in general, or where Walmart's headed in general. But who knows? There might be some new opportunity that strikes, and it's like, boom, let's hit this guy really aggressively, and suddenly there's amazing success.
Something you said too, it's really nice every week being able to see month over month, year over year, by different platform, by different campaign type, sales growth, budget spent, ROAS, all the different metrics. And so just having that, being able to have that screenshot, gives us a really good litmus test of what's happening. And it doesn't take any time on my team. And so we're sitting there, we get to track it week over week, year over year, month over month, which is really beneficial, especially as we try to figure out how much we're going to sell, how much are we going to spend, and come up with our own internal goals.
Sure. Yeah, reporting is obviously so key to visualize success. I know you're discussing the screenshot. How has reporting been for you thus far? How is going to Dashna, being able to see all your metrics just in one spot? What's that experience been like?
I haven't gone as deep into the reporting side. I'm sure Albert and Moses from our team do more of that. But I would just say, to Matt's point, I think just a very concise way to kind of articulate the success, where are we at relative to the assumptions we made, and then kind of having an action plan for how to attack it. So every week when we're on the call, Krishna and the team do a really good job saying, we thought we'd be here 2 weeks ago. Here's where we're actually at. Because of that, here's where I think we can get to. And so I think for us, reporting is nice. It saves time for us, pulling things. It's easy things we can flip over to the buyers if they have a question about a specific channel or brand's performance. But as far as like deep diving into it, I have other people on the team that spend more time doing that. But
and it's nice too, with the different charts that are sent over. There's always keynotes. So it's what, so what, now what, just like Miles was saying. And so instead of having to digest data and then go in and find our own insights, those insights are already pulled and communicated for us right there on the screen.
Amazing. That's where you really get, the results, or like where the account manager piece comes in. Because let's say, you're running a self-serve, you still have to go and then start digging and finding, where is my success? And, we have the ability to show you your share of voice, your keyword rank, just your ad performance as a whole, the year over year, week over week, some things that may not be native to Walmart Connect platforms, to be able to enable that. And we definitely work with our team to have them report against their goals. That's something you can't necessarily plug in anywhere. Right. So it's something that we have to customize, for our clients. Okay, what are you looking to achieve? All right, here's our goal that we're trying to hit. How did we pace against it this month, next month, and so on? And, that's really something we're happy about. We love that. We love to see, because if you just wait until the year is done, like, all right, let's check in on things, you have no idea what's about to hit you. So obviously, having those routine calls weekly, whatever it is, and having also the ability to just have Dashna there. You want to just check in, hey, how's this campaign going? Taking a look at specifics. If you do want to get into that nitty gritty, you do have the ability to do so. Miles, Matt, thank you guys so much for coming today. This has been wonderful. I really appreciated it.
Of course, David.
Yeah, well,
happy to be here.
Yeah, thank y'all. And we appreciate all the efforts that your team takes, and all the special requests and the random phone calls and the emails. Very responsive. Shout out to Maggie. She's done a great job helping, put us in the right spot. Hey, Matt, you still need to respond to this or whatever. And so we really appreciate your whole team.
Amazing. She's great. They're all great.
Yep.
We're big fans.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much.
Yep. Thanks so much, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
Have
you.
a great one.
You too.